My full name is Sharif Mohammed Bhamji. I feel extremely proud to be a Heiltsuk. I feel privileged to be a Heiltsuk. I feel that I'm very lucky to be who I am, and I'm very lucky to be a part of such a beautiful group of people. To be a Heiltsuk in East Indian is unique, different. I can say I've never met anybody else besides my close family that is also East Indian and Native. So I have India, and then I have Bella Bella, which is Indian as well, so I have double Indian. I have to hold myself accountable a lot more for what I say and what I do, because I'm defending and honoring two cultures instead of one. And it feels like I'm defending because of constantly what I have to deal with. Being treated indifferently happens for me as soon as I walk outside my door. It goes right to the bus, to the store, and it goes right to the bank. It's literally right to my house, the discrimination. When I go by myself, I feel that I get scrutinized a lot more, and it seems that I have a lot more harder of a time dealing with public services, such as banks and buses and stores. So I take my daughter with me, just so that way I feel that if I have a kid with me, maybe they'll give me less of a hard time. And usually when I take her with me, they don't give me much of a hard time, or sometimes they do. Yeah, they still give me a hard time sometimes, but. So I went to TD, I opened an account online. The rest of the process told me that I had to go into TD Bank to be able to open my account, and it told me that I needed one piece of ID, proof of address. And so I brought a proof of address and I brought my ID to TD, and I was hoping to open a bank account. And as soon as I got to the teller and I gave her my status card, she looked at the status card and looked at me and said, "You're Sharif Bhamji?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm Sharif." And she gave me a funny look right away. And I felt really awkward. And so I just came home frustrated and I threw the card on the ground. The cops came to my door and he said, "Do you know what I'm here for?" And I said, "Yeah, the bank." And once he said that, he said, "Do you know why?" And I said, "Yeah, because of my name." And he said, "Yeah, it's your name." He asked me about my ID and everything else. It was on the floor because I didn't even believe anymore that the status card had any value, because they were telling me that it wasn't who I was, and it made me feel very, very not worthy, I guess. It made me feel not worthy, and it made me feel unequal. What he told me, the reason he was called was because I threw a paper at them and that I was trespassed because I came with a fake ID. And he says, "So what is your background?" And he asked me about my background, and I gave him my background, which is Native and East Indian. And then he also discussed with me how there's discrimination in the police force and how it's hard being brown while being blue. And so I knew that he was supporting me and understanding the situation. And he told me to pick up my status card off the ground, and I told him I don't want to pick it up. And he said, "Trust me, pick it up." And I was like, "Okay, I'll pick it up." And so once I picked it up, I went in, and I didn't understand the depth of the situation at first because it's happened so much that I'm so used to it. But once the cop was called is when I figured that it was getting really serious, and the way I was feeling was validated by when the police came and explained what he said to me. I felt empty for sure. I felt worthless. I didn't feel like I was equal. And that was a big thing for me, was feeling unequal. And what I want out of this is hopefully a lot more eyes opening and seeing the scrutiny and the pain that people are actually being put under, and it doesn't look like it. And we might seem like we're actually all happy and giggles, but we put up with a lot, and it gets to be a lot, especially after something like that. It hurts. I hope that one day my daughter doesn't have to deal with something like this, because it's already enough for her to deal with it now, that I could only imagine how it would be if she had to deal with it as an adult. It would just be more traumatizing. It's traumatizing. Hopefully their future is a bit brighter and there's a bit less hate in the world. And I hope that maybe in this part of the world, in this part of Canada, and everywhere else that deals with Indigenous people, they have a bit more respect and have a bit better understanding, and treat my kids with a lot more respect and dignity is what I hope comes out of it.